Alrighty. Good evening, Thomas. It is so good to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Happy Thursday.
I played the fifth. I played the fifth on how I'm doing.
Oh, that sounds like that deserves a follow-up question. Welcome to the Not Relevant podcast. Welcome, one and all. It's exciting to have you all here. It's been a crazy day. I think I owe a story, but you look like you've had a rough day as well. How are things in the Thomas household today?
Well, goodness gracious. Happy to be here. And I will say it wasn't, it was maybe close to noon before it dawned on me that it's podcast day and I've got so much stuff going and I hadn't prepared anything yet to that point. So there's a small panic there, but yeah, today was a day that I did not expect to take place. The irony is I posted something about a meme on my Facebook. I think there's some people in chat that were Facebook friends on the RI Facebook page, and it was a great way to turn a sofa into a sofa bed is to tell your wife to calm down.
And I think I like that one.
And so there was comments like doghouse and this and that. You know, that was fun. That was this morning. That was a fun one. But
you didn't do that, did you?
Did not tell her to calm down at all. But there's a doghouse in my future. It's waiting for me when the show is over. So it's
what did you do? Confession time now. What did you do?
So buckle up, folks. This is confession time. We have a lot of animals in our house. One of them was the bunny rabbit Jax, who he's supposed to live 6 to 8 years. Well, he made it to 11, and he passed a couple nights ago. He passed in his sleep and of old age. So if it's going to happen, then that's the way to lose a pet. It's just, it happens. But my wife and my daughter, obviously pretty bummed out. But in the midst of this, my daughter and I were talking last night, and my wife was, pretty sad about it and bummed. And we used to have some finches. I think I've talked about those on the story before, and they've since gone. And she's like, "Well, we get surprised Mom with like a cockatiel." Like I said, "Oh,
that would be a surprise."
That would be a surprise. And, when your 15-year-old daughter with puppy dog eyes kind of looking up at you. And so you're like, we'll entertain this idea, right?
Practice that look for 15 years.
Yeah, she's got it dialed in. So we're like, I tell her, I say, okay, after your doctor's appointment tomorrow, we'll run by to pet store. We'll just see what birds are there. We'll just kind of check it out. We're like, no promises. We're not
already surrendering. You've waved the white flag at this point.
Yeah, she was kicking my butt. Yeah. She knows how to do it. And I'm seeing a lot of condolences to chat. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. It was he lived a long, really spoiled life. He was a great bunny. So he's better now because he was so old, hard to get around and whatnot. But I appreciate you all. So we go to said pet store, number one. And I'm like, please, Lord, please don't let there be any birds. Like, I can't, this is such a bad idea. My wife's going to kill me. We can't. Pet store number one, no birds. I'm like, yes. So we go to pet store number two, and there's like this one bird habitat, and it's, I don't know what they were. I'll just, like, only finches, right? We're not doing that again. So I was like, yes, I'm free. And then we looked left, and we're like, oh, she's like, there's the cockatiels. I'm like, oh, yay. Okay. Ooh. So we go over there, and we're looking at them, and they're cool and they're doing their thing. And there's a bird to the right that my daughter's like, oh, that's the bird. And she starts like bouncing with the bird, and he starts bouncing and he's doing his thing, and it's a parrot.
They bonded in that moment.
She said, I'm his person. He chose me. I mean, she was in, right? And so I'm like, yeah, but no. And especially when I look at the price tag compared to like cockatiels and other, I'm like, definitely no. But this was my out, right? I had it all figured out. Way to go, Dad. I'm like, okay, we're not this one is a surprising mom with a bird to now my daughter fell in love with a different bird and she wants a new pet, right? So I'm like, okay, here's the deal. We're not getting a cockatiel and surprising mom. We will go home, tell mom our little plan, what we just did, and and you found a bird
Let
that you
wiser
really
minds
love.
prevail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, this is perfect because mom's gonna be like, nope. And whole plan out, done, no bird, no surprise, no dog, cat, nothing. And so we get home, and the 15-year-old puppy dog eyes starts going to town to work. And at the same time, those eyes are working. My wife's eyes are working, but with like lasers at me. And you're grounded. this is what I got. I'm like, oh no, oh boy. I was like, no. So, anyways, I called the store back because there's a very knowledgeable lady there who got one of said same parrots, same species, or whatever. And she's enlightening me on all this information, the stuff, and so I'm talking to her. And so I go in and I tell the girls, like, hey, just so you know, I don't think our house is best suited for this particular bird and what we're trying to do and with our schedules and this and that. Well, then my wife comes back in and is like, well, I think we could make it work because we do this. So I just broke my daughter's heart. She's in her room crying. And then mom says, I think it'll be okay. Maybe we kind of give it a shot. Meanwhile, I'm still grounded. So then I have to go in my daughter's room and she's crying. I'm like, look, here's what you have to promise to do if we're going to go get said bird. And so, of course, whether it's true or not, promises this, that, and the other. So we got a parrot. In fact, the whole thing took so long of all the getting the crate and the paperwork for the parrot and all the stuff that goes in the cage, and it's taken so long. I'm getting paranoid. I've got to get back to the house and get ready for the podcast. So we get home, dump all the toys, the huge box. It was like 100 pounds for this parrot cage in the middle of the drive or in the middle of the garage. And I go, honey, I'm so sorry. I have to go upstairs. So she's currently in the garage.
I'm going to be named in divorce paperwork. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. She's in the garage finishing building the ginormous parrot cage. It got a stand, but still it's big. It stands almost 6 feet tall. Yeah, wow. It's a big daddy. So anyways, we in 48 hours we were down a pet, which it's sad, but that's nature. We have a ton already, so it was kind of like, okay, let's just follow the timeline. And now we're back up a pet. And SF in Texas, correct. And the particular one we got, they were telling us they have a few that they have experience with that have lived to over 60 years old. So the bird is going to live longer than me. Yes.
Your children's children will know this bird.
The bird has to go in my will, which was not on my bingo card.
Oh my goodness.
So there's some people saying they want to see the bird. So this little guy, I will say this, I feel a little bit better even being in the doghouse because this little guy had a few issues. So he has to stay in his cage that she recommended for the first month. So he knows where his food, water, and where he goes to the bathroom is, and that our daughter only, poke her finger through the cage to lightly scratch his beak or something before he can come out. So he's kind of got to be isolated for a while before he's comfortable to start coming out and playing. But yeah, it's I'm in trouble.
I'm asking the obvious question. What word are you going to teach the bird to say? That's because parrot, you can teach him to talk, right?
One word? Or do we get two?
Remember, this is a family show.
Well, I'm just FU trees came to mind. So I was thinking about what
that is exciting. And at the same time, wow, jumping in the deep end with a bird.
A parrot. I'll put it in chat here for those that I don't know, the make model.
The make and model of the bird. You told me what it was. It's a sun conure. It's from South America. It's a beautiful bird. It's like it looks like it's like sort of orange head, yellow body, green wings. Sort of like it's like a little rainbow of
Yeah.
starburst colors. Yeah,
Yeah, he's real pretty.
beautiful, beautiful birds.
Kelly P says, what's the name? His name was Mango. Our daughter was contemplating changing it. She doesn't know. He's less than a year old. He was delivered to the store here less than a month ago. So he's fresh. He's ours.
Little guy. He's gonna grow a little bit.
Yep,
And,
he's supposed to put on another inch, and I forget how many more grams he puts on his head. But
I predict that at one point we will hear him in the background during the podcast. At some point, it might not be this week. It might be later. But I predict that we're going to hear this parrot in the background.
So
it's going to be good.
The day started great. I played pickleball this morning. That's become my new thing. I'm full-heartedly addicted to pickleball. I played like 8 games, and then I did a pickleball clinic with drills. And then I didn't know this, but said clinic includes you play like 3 more games when you're done. And I wanted to go home so bad. I was so exhausted, so tired. But it was a beautiful day here, so we went to the outdoor courts, and it was just phenomenal. And then it just took a dark turn this afternoon. So
ended with a parrot named Mango.
Yeah.
Well, I think your day was worse than mine. But let me tell you how mine started.
It's bad.
Got a phone call from my neighbor. I was in bed. Okay. And he said, Scott, I need you to come fix my TV. The TV's out. And we do this. A little background on the neighbor. Love this guy to death. Amazing guy. He's older, and he's experiencing some memory problems and things like that make life a little more challenging. And it's not as easy to do everything he did before. And we like to sort of keep a lookout for him. And one of the things I do, because I'm a tech dude, is I fix his TV and I fix his security cameras when there are problems. And so he calls me. He's like, "TV's out. I can't watch my news. Can you come fix it?" I'm like, "I'm not up yet. As soon as I'm up, I'll do this." And so I go over to his place to fix it. And we do all the regular things, because you basically have to take apart his entertainment center and pull the TV out and check the cables, wiggle them. Turns out, I think he may have forgotten to pay his cable bill. Everything's working. It's just there's no signal from the cable. So we've got to contact his kids who sort of manage the finances with him and stuff, and check that. And so you have to realize his kids, they know that he has some challenges, but he wants to live alone as long as he can. He doesn't want to be in a home, and I respect that.
Yep.
And but he does get forgetful. So I've been over there, and he just forgot he's got the sink running, and it's just been going for hours, or he forgets the stoves on. So they've elected to take all the cooking appliances out of the house, and instead provide for like Meals on Wheels order delivery stuff.
Gotcha.
That will provide the meals, the hot meals and stuff for him. And that's their choice. That's what they chose to do. But because he doesn't cook anymore, he doesn't need the stuff in his freezer. So he shows up at my door the other day, and he's carrying an armload of frozen food, mostly meat. And I don't know how to tell the guy no, but this is not food that we would eat. This is food that was put in the freezer when I was a child.
Oh,
and it has been and I think the power went out probably a number of times. And it warmed up, and then it froze again. It was bad, but it was frozen. I'm like,
it's sick.
All right, so I'm at the front door, like, I'll just take this, and we'll go through the kitchen and out the back door, right into the garbage can. Okay,
yeah,
it was perfect. It was like mission accomplished. He's happy, we're happy. There's no problems. So this morning, I'm over working on his TV. Garbage truck shows up. It's a day late, but it's finally here to empty our garbage. This meat has been sitting in the garbage can in the nice North Carolina, beautiful summertime weather for the last week, right? So it's ready to be picked up. It's ready for sure.
It's ripe.
It's ripe. Our garbage truck is automated. They wheel them out, they connect them to the truck, and it dumps it in the back. Everything works. We've never had a problem until today. There is one item, one bag that falls out and does not make it in the truck, and it lands right in the road. And it is this package of meat, and it's like chicken gizzard. I don't know. It's like 10 pounds of chicken gizzards. I don't know what else. And in a yellow styrofoam, like 1970s styrofoam container. And it's also wrapped in like a bag from like Piggly Wiggly or something. And It's sitting in the road. It's completely thawed, and a car has hit it one time.
No.
It is.
Roadkill.
So I come out from his house after not being able to fix his TV, and he's like, "Hey, thanks. I'll call my son." I'm like, "Oh, great." And he's like, "What's that in the road?"
It's all the
And
meat you gifted me.
I didn't know until that moment that it was there. I'm like,
Oh.
I don't know. I'm thinking through, it must be the garbage. Something. I'm not saying this out loud. It must be something from the garbage and then it like clicks. I'm like, and I know I can't just go pick it up because I can see there's like meat all over just pieces. And I'm like, let me just, because he's got a flat shovel there. And I'm like, I'll just clean it up. He's like, no, I can get it. Because he likes to be helpful. I'm like, no, I got this one. So I grabbed the shovel and I'm like sort of almost running out to the road to scoop this up. And I get most of it. He's like, what is it? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I throw it in the closest thing, which is my garbage. Okay. This stuff reeks. This smells like death. It is so bad.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's like pieces of styrofoam and meat and plastic all over. And he's like, he just gets real quiet. Okay. And I'm not sure if I cannot make eye contact with him. Okay. I'm not looking. Okay.
Because you're like, does he know?
Does he know? Does he recognize what is on the ground right here? And so he's like, let me finish. And he takes the shovel and I'm like, okay, thank you. And I turn and I run into the house. And I have not looked at him since. Okay. I have not talked to him. I am mortified that he remembers that this was the food he gave us and we threw it away. And now he cleaned it up. And so not only did he clean up the food one more time and shovel it all into my garbage can, he brought my garbage cans in and they stink. They are so bad. I mean, it is death. And I'm worried that, with this great weather, these garbage cans are like little greenhouses. They just store heat and it's going to cook and bake and bond to the bottom. And I will never get another garbage can. I'm thinking, so do I destroy it? Oops, there was a fire and then call the city and ask for a new one. And I'm thinking, if I do that, well, here's the problem. I just had a run-in with the city the other day, like yesterday, because while I was live streaming, and this are the thoughts that are going through my head. While I was live streaming, I'm sitting here and I hear some voices right outside, like 10 feet away from me. I could almost reach out. If I could reach the wall, I could almost touch the people in my yard, and their voices I don't recognize. I'm like, what is going on? And they're like some yelling back and forth. And I put down my headset and I grabbed the closest thing I can for self-defense, which ends up being my screaming goat. So I'm holding the screaming goat. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm going to like scream at them or something.
Yeah.
I mean, if I gouge them right with the horns, it would work. So I'm holding the screaming goat. I run out there. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And my neighbor comes out from my basement.
Same neighbor or different neighbor?
Different neighbor.
Oh.
I've never seen this guy in my life. Okay.
Came up from your basement?
My basement. And there are two guys with water, like the water company. It's the same guys that pick up the garbage, but they like one day they're water company, then they switch hats, then they're the garbage. Yeah. We're a small town. That's the way it works. It's the city workers, right?
Yeah.
So they're standing there in my yard and they're looking at me and I'm like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, what are you doing in my basement? And they're like, well, we were trying to find the water leak, to see if there's, and I've got a sump, okay, because I live in North Carolina and the water table is like just below the ground level, like grassroots level. That's where the water table is here.
Right.
And so we have a little basement. It steps down. It just fills up with water during a drought. That's what it does. And then the sump pumps it out and it's the lowest point. And so it's actually lower than my basement and it keeps the basement dry and everything's fine. But my neighbor came over because the water guys were wondering where the water was coming from. And he's like, oh, it must be from a sump. We must have a basement. Let's go in. Let's see. And he just opens up and goes in and opens up my basement because I left it unlocked. And
do you have outside access to your basement, or do you have to?
Yes, through that door. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I had left it unlocked. That was my own fault. He opens the place up, and I've got tools and bikes and safes and everything else. I'm like, what are you doing in my basement? That's breaking and entering. And I am livid. I'm mad. And first of all, I don't know he's my neighbor. I think he's with the water guys.
Oh,
and so I'm like, get off my property. Okay. You have first of all, if you thought it was a leak, you could have just opened up the water main valve and looked at the meter and it would have shown you that if the wheel's spinning, there's a leak. Okay. Right. You would have known. And then it's not your problem. I'm paying for it. Right.
Right.
And if you thought it was your pipes, they're not on my property. So you have no business being down here. So I call up the city and I'm mad. And I get the receptionist. We have one lady that answers the phone. She's the one I'd have to talk to if I wanted a new garbage can too. And I'm like, look, I'm steaming mad. Your water guy's just broke into my house. I'd like to talk to the manager. And I go I'm mad. And it turns out she transfers me. I get voicemail.
Because he's the guy you're transferred to is standing in your front yard.
Probably. So I get the voicemail. I leave a voicemail and I said some not nice things probably that may have involved, I'll see you in court or something similar. And so I'm waiting for this call back. And I do get a call back from the city. When I get the call back, I'm like, what? And it's the same lady from the city offices calling to tell me that last month they discontinued accepting credit card payments using Discover. And so my bill is now late and due. I'm like, how can this? Okay. So first of all, you should have told me before. Okay. Now I owe nearly 4 digits on a water bill because late, whatever. And, they charge, it's so expensive. I'm like, you won't, they already charged me a $17 fee for processing my payment. Okay. So I'm like, okay, set that aside. I thought you were calling me for something else. Can you transfer me to the police? Because there's one number you call.
She's like, dispatch.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
She transferred me to the police. I get a dispatcher and she's like, well, do you want me to send a detective or do you want me? I'm like, just send somebody. It comes out. So let's see who he is. Williams, Mr. J. Williams. Thank you for your card. Calls and shows up at my house, and he's mad. Well, before he shows up, I get a call from the manager. I think his name was Dave. It's always Dave.
Always a Dave.
There's always a Dave. And the manager calls back, and he is like full on defensive, but at the same time apologetic. He's like, I just want you to know it wasn't my guys. I'm like, I saw your jackets. Your guys were standing in my yard. They're holding the cover up. So he's like, wasn't my guys. They just, I want you to know that as soon as that happened, they called me and said, you'll never believe what this neighbor guy did. He just walked into the guy's house.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay. So that changes things a little bit. But why did my neighbor walk into my house? Well, the water guys said, we're looking for a leak. We're looking for the sump. Where's the sump? Where does that come from? And they basically told the guy what to do. And he did the dirty work and walked to my house so they could see what was going on. I'm like, that doesn't make it in. He's like an agent for your water guys.
Yeah.
So I was mad. I was like, look, Dave, okay, I understand the explanation. The water guys probably wouldn't have done what he did. But still, I mean, that's fine. But this neighbor, turns out he's like, oh, I think his name is Joel, by the way. So if you know a Joel in the area, we're looking for you. He says, yeah, my sister just lives down there. I'm your neighbor. That's what he said to the water guys. I'm the neighbor.
So his sister's
I've never seen him before.
Him.
Yeah. He just thinks he can walk. I told the police officer and I told him, I said, look, I want this on record because if it happens again, I want you to know why I filled this guy's lead prescription because I full on will perforate him. You don't come in my house. There's some boundaries. You can knock on the door. I'll talk to you. I might not invite you in. I might invite you in. If I do, it's my choice. You don't come in my house without permission unless you've made your peace with God. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because it may be the last time.
100% anyway, agree.
So I told the police that, and he's like, yep, I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, it's just so we're on the same page.
There is a benefit of small towns in some regards, for sure.
Oh, so I have a garbage can that reeks that I can't get rid of. I can't call this lady again because we actually paid the water bill. We've got the neighbors that the police thing that's opened up. I forget everything that's happened. Anyway, what else was there? Was there anything else I was supposed to tell you guys about the story?
So we've got Joel. You filed a police report.
Good neighbor. Oh, this is better. While I'm filing the police report with Mr. Williams, I'm explaining that this neighbor guy who I've never seen before, I'm trying to give a description of how I think he broke into my house. And, I'm concerned that he might try to do it again. And while the police officer is writing down the notes, the good neighbor, the guy with the meat, okay, comes over and he packs heat everywhere he goes. He has a open carry Glock on his hip, and he startles the police officer as he's on my porch, and he turns around, sees the guy with the gun, not on his hand, but he sees the guy carrying the gun, and he looks back at me, and he's like, "This guy," he's like, does a little him. Is that the guy?
It's not Joel. That's not Joel.
No, he's the good guy. He's the good guy.
He would have taken care of Joel for me if he was
Yes,
here.
he probably will shoot first. In my defense, my neighbor will probably get the guy before I do. But
Wow.
that was my day. It was pretty good.
So so you filed a report that someone broke and entered your home. What's next? Today
They filed it in the circular file. Okay. They're not going to do anything.
Nothing,
it's like
yeah.
the guy opened your door, went in your house. Did they take anything? No. Well, thanks. We'll do an extra patrol just to make sure, right? We'll swing by once and shine the light at night and see if there's anybody there. So nothing's going to happen unless I see the neighbor again. I'm like, Joel, we need to talk. Police station now, you and me.
Come inside.
No, don't. So in anticipation of the podcast, I think I need to do something better because that was not like the highlight of my week. I think I need to go to Walmart. I need to get those Cheetos that are spicy, the spicy Cheetos with dill flavor. People have been telling me they found them and they're delicious. So here's what happens. I decide to do this at like 6:15. Okay, podcast is at 8.
Yeah.
From my house, you go out to 11, you head up to the Honda shop, the Honda dealership, Honda Dodge dealership. You turn right on Greenville Boulevard and you start, and this is like a nice area. It's like the dealership's all lit, all the nice cars,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And on your left, you've got like the Outback Steakhouse, high end, good food, good stuff. And next you've got also good food, KFC. And then a little further, you've got Golden Corral, which is not quite as good. And then you've got Hooters, and past Hooters, you have to turn left on Hooker Road. And then you're at this scary Walmart. This Walmart is a Walmart where literally people have been abducted before. Like the news stories, you can look it up as like child abduction from Walmart. And that's this Walmart that comes up. It's scary. It's so scary that the police have those little carts with cameras like parked all over. It's hard to find a space because there are too many of these cars with the lights constantly going and cameras looking everywhere. Do you see a parrot?
No. I hear power tools coming from the location where parrot cage is going. Oh, I'm so in trouble. Oh, no.
It's probably just a screw gun, just clipping something together. I think you're good.
No, there's nothing. Oh my gosh. Please keep going with your story. It's the only thing that's going to keep
this area is so bad and so dangerous. Literally, Hooters went out of business. Okay. That's how bad it is. They shut down. And I guess they were shut down everywhere, but it was probably because of this location. I like to think that that's what happened. So it's just a scary place. There's a pirate statue outside just to warn people that, beware the pirates. Oh, no. So I did a live stream because I went all the way. I took my life in my hands. I ran in the store. I had checked on my phone to make sure the store had the Cheetos in stock before I left. When I arrived, they were out. And so I ended up getting these just regular lay dill pickle stuff. So I'm going to have to try these.
Yeah.
But while I was there, I kid you not, I slipped on a banana peel, just about died right there in front of the Cheetos. I showed it on the live stream. There's a green banana right there on the floor. I missed it. Okay. I was just like, it's as green as green. It's like, it's this color of banana on a white floor.
Mario Kart.
I just did the quick stutter step and I caught myself. But the next aisle over, there's like a can of, I don't know, some sort of white sauce, like a Alfredo that's just shattered. There's just glass shards up and down the aisle. This is just normal. Okay. That's a clean aisle. I'd go down that aisle before one of the others because this store is that scary. Anyway, as I'm leaving, okay, I make it back out to the car. We end the live stream. I'm driving home. It starts raining, which when you're driving, that's always a problem because it makes, positioning, jockeying position, high-speed cornering, things like that a little bit tougher.
Yep.
So I get caught at a light. I go out Hooker, turn right on Greenville Boulevard, turn left on 11, get caught at a light. And it's 3 lanes. And somebody has weaseled into pole position in front of me. So I'm in the fast lane right behind him. There's a turning lane to my right or my left. There's 2 slow lanes to my right. So I think I'm in second place, position. Okay. Pole position was a little blue Hyundai from Tennessee. Greene County, by the way. It says Greene on the bottom. I'm pretty sure that's the county. He's sitting in pole position. There's 2 theories of thought when it comes to strategy for starting lines at a stoplight. One is that you leave a gap just small enough that no other car can fit in, so you have room to get a running start. and go. You understand. That's the one. I went with the other option, which was get as close as you possibly can to the vehicle in front, hoping to get a bump draft or something, and just catch the acceleration as you go. So I do that. I pull right up so I can't see Tennessee anymore. Can't see the license plate. I can't even see his taillights. I'm just right on his bumper. I'm like, let's go. Just waiting for the green light, green flag. Let's giggity boys. Let's go racing. I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like watching the lights because you sort of have the timer, so when just like doing the two pedal thing.
That one turns yellow, so you're green here the next 5 seconds or so.
So the light turns yellow to my side, and I see another yellow light. And I can see just a little reflection coming up from the side. The car in front of me, in pole position, has turned on his right turn indicator.
He wants to get 3 lanes across.
He wants to turn right at that intersection.
From the number one
I don't know what Daniel Boone from Tennessee was thinking, but he has not driven before, especially in Greenville. So light turns green. He waits. Why? Because we've got 2 lanes of traffic that have to clear all the way out from busy city, so he can then turn light to the right lane, which once he does, and I barely made it through on that light, he decides he didn't want that turn anyway and comes back into traffic.
Joel from Tennessee.
I don't know. Do you guys even have like a driver's test in Tennessee? Is there any sort of license? Is there sort of bar you have to pass? Is there a little manual you read?
I got to say, people in this town, it wouldn't surprise me if they do the same thing. I think in the entire state, they pulled data from insurance and what have you, and out of every city in the state, we're like number 8 of worst drivers. And I won't dispute it. In fact, the only dispute I had was I feel like it should be number 1 or 2, not 8. But so you've never had those chips before?
I think I have. They smell delicious.
Has it been a while?
It stings your eyes. It's a familiar smell.
Look what's sitting on my desk 2 weeks later. Still here.
I got the single serving size. It says party size there, but we all know what it means.
It's French for single.
Yeah. These are good. These are good. They are not Cheetos. They're not spicy hot Cheetos, but they're really good. Oh, it was worth it. Check the app again. There's another Supercenter in Walmart. The Walmart Supercenter. I don't know if it's scarier. It's on 10th Street, which is I think it's pretty much like in a scarier part of town, if that's possible. They have the spicy dill pickle Cheetos.
I didn't even know those are the thing. And I'm so disheartened because I've been to nearly almost every store in the last few weeks looking for the V8 hot honey V8. Nope.
Yeah.
Can't find it in this town. It's a town of 120,000 people. We have 3 Walmarts. We have 4 Uniteds. I haven't checked Target. We have Aldi's. We have Natural Grocers. We have all. Can't find it. It's insane. I'm gonna have to order it on Amazon, I guess. Yep.
I have to say, I got these because I got a package in the mail this week with other things that are dill flavored.
Are they making an appearance tonight?
Including this.
Oh, green screen for the win.
Which my daughter's just kindly got out of the freezer for me.
Freezer.
Bob's Pickle Pops Sport.
Oh, those are good for like cramps and stuff like that.
Okay, well, there's medicine that's good for all sorts of things. Doesn't mean you should eat it. This is it's a push pop. And it's frozen.
Yeah.
And it's clear. You can't see it. I have to go to my other camera for you to see it. Oops.
Those are
stay longer than that.
Great especially for like runners or people that are active in the summertime.
I've never had one. Is this just straight dill juice? Like it's like you drain the jar, you pour the popsicle?
Pretty close. There's some other additives that they include in those, but yeah.
I'll commit to eating one of them.
They're actually good. Even a lot of non pickle people can actually down those because they're frozen. The frozen effect, it's kind of, you can get by it.
Probably shouldn't lick the knife.
Oh, I mean, it's a risk you're willing to take. Great for cramps.
I don't have cramps.
Well, if you run after Joel later, you could get a calf cramp or something. You could be set.
There's a lot of pucker in these. And salt. It's like a salty dill otter pop.
So it's super high
sugar.
It should be super high in potassium and sodium, because when you're being extremely active, that's what you sweat out. And so that's what helps avoid cramps and get it away. I'm sure the sodium count on that is huge.
It's 20% of my daily allotment. Between that and my bag of chips, I'm pretty much going to die from this. This is not good.
Royce entered the chat. He said they're awful. You need to decide which is worse, puking or cramps. I guess that's what you're doing.
I'm going to take back my commitment to eat a whole one. I had 3 bites. Hey, favorite child, will you carefully throw this away?
Barb said, "Is this?"
And then you can have one. Here you go. No. You guys can have one. You can help yourself. Help yourself. Oh.
Sport drinks are bigger for the electrolytes. This is going to be more potassium and sodium heavy is what those are. So if, for example, someone who's not very fit and active, if you're not sweating a ton, then those would be terrible for you because of the sodium count and something like that. But
let's clean the knife off. Those are not good.
Your face said it all.
I've never had a pucker quite that severe.
Pickle pucker. Someone gave a perfect segue. Oh, found it.
Can you hand me this? Yes. Half marathon. Yes. I'll send them down. Hey, put those in a package for Thomas. Get those. How's the marathon going?
And you have my address. Dang it. Oh, yeah. Did we give did I give a half marathon update? No. Because we had the show before. And I think I said on the show I decided not to run. And then the very next day I decided to run it. I told the neighbor, I said, okay, I'll run with you. And chat this, okay, yeah, Red Pen said you chickened out. Thanks, Red. So here's the update on the half marathon. I committed to running it. So we get, let's see, it's a couple hours away. So the plan was Saturday afternoon, my wife and I and our neighbor and her husband, we were going to take our own cars, but caravan on down, grab dinner, and then stay in our own hotel rooms, and then run the race Sunday morning. And so I'm going to run it. I decided if I quit after 6-7 miles and just walk off the course, I'll Uber towards the staging area, whatever I got to do. That was the plan. So Lynn Taylor, it was 13.1. It was a half marathon. So off we go. Saturday, let's see, there's a few things that started to take place on Saturday. I gotta get everything in order. So I say, okay, I'm running. Well, when you sign up for these things, you get like 50 promo emails in a mix with everything else, right? So I didn't even notice. I see on Saturday morning, the day before the race, right? It's the expo is Friday and Saturday. Expo closes at 5 p.m. on Saturday. By the way, that's the last day to get your race bib and packet. And if you don't have it, you can't run Sunday. Well, I can't get there by the time that they're saying they close. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm out. I can't run. So I have a really good friend of mine that I throw up a prayer, call him. He lives 10 minutes from where he's got to be.
Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell. He goes to get my packet. I'm all set. So in a few more hours, we're going to head down, swing by his house, and then to dinner and hotel. And so I got my packet. I can run. Then I notice I get another update email that afternoon, right before we're about to leave town. And it's like your registration confirmed, this, and I'm looking at it, and they registered me for the 5K instead of the half marathon. Now, usually, you can work out, what do you got to do? The problem is the 5K was over 7 hours earlier. They ran that on Saturday morning. It's already done. The race I'm supposed to be part of. So now I'm like, okay, oh boy. So I'm calling, obviously can't get a hold of anyone. You can't do anything. I look up the FAQ site or webpage on there, and it's like, To transfer your registration to another racer or to switch your race to another race, the deadline is February 8th. Well, I signed up for the race on February 12th.
So you better get it right the first time.
Yeah. So
how fortuitous.
So done. I can't run the race. No bib, no. So anyway, I can't run. They won't let me run. No bib, no anything. And these things are fancy. There's electronic sensors in your bibs, and they have an app. So you can watch. We watched our neighbor run the whole thing, and they post your pace, your projected, your everything. So
like an Apple AirTag on each runner.
It's basically what it is, 100%, with live tracking. It's exactly where they are on the thing. So my wife and I are like, well, we've already committed to have someone here, a house sitter and / babysitter, and we're not going to cancel and last minute and do all that. Let's go and support our neighbor. And the plan is we've never been down here or done this. So we're going to, in the morning, hop in the truck with the husband, because he knows, you get her to the start line, and then you run to the car and you get to mile 3 and cheer her on as she crosses. And then you run to your car and you get to mile 6 and cheer her on as she crosses, and so forth. And so we don't do any homework of where it's at and what's going on, because we get to hop in with him and hang out. And so we're going to go support our good friends. This is going to be great. And so we wake up at 5 a.m. morning of race day, and I'm getting my wife creamer from the lobby. And this is what's crazy is our neighbor, she had the flu 2 weeks ago. And I have this thought. I'm like, what if she's like somehow sick again and she can't even run? And we came down here, we ate dinner, hotel, so we just all have to turn around and go home for nothing.
Just get to watch some random race of people you don't know and go back home.
So I walk into the room and our little group text goes off, and it's her. And she says, hey, y'all, husband's food poisoning. He's dying in the hotel. He can't take me to the race. He can't do anything. Can you guys take me? And we're like, oh my gosh, I just had the thought she gets it, but it's him. He's sick. Like, how the hell? So we're like, of course, right? We love them. They're amazing neighbors. Their kids are always on their bikes in their driveway, stuff like that. So we're like, absolutely, anything you need, we've got you. So my wife and I take her. We get her to the start line on time. Everything's great. We see her run through, the gate and get the pictures. And they're like, all right, mile 5, let's go. We got her. And so we jump in the car. Keep in mind, again, we did no planning or prepping because her husband has done this before. We hadn't.
You were planning on having a chauffeur, or at least a guide to this portion.
100%. So on the way to mile 5, 2 left turns, a right turn. We go straight. We go here, a barricade there, turn around, go back, lost in neighborhood, dead ends. So we're like, we're not making mile 5. She's almost there. You can't. We're not getting there. We got to figure out, how do we get to mile maybe 7 or 8 now? Which way are we going? So we're looking at the map and where she's at, and Amanda's got the other map and all that, and then ding, 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 gas light, and the car comes on. We need gas. So we're like, okay, this is perfect.
That's urgent. Yeah.
Fact. So like, okay, let's go get gas, get this handled. So we go pump gas, and we're like tracking her, how fast she's going or not going. So we get gas, and then it worked out. We made a big loop around. We got to see her at mile 9. And then we got to the finish line, got to see her there. So great. We did our part, and bless her heart, she was so grateful that we were there cheering her on. I mean, the amount of text and stuff and just talking with her on the way back, because then we had to take her to the hotel, and she was so grateful. But Amanda and I were like, go left, no right, go, you have no sense of direction. I mean, we're just screaming, like, it's just all this. It's just a big
So how's her husband back at the hotel?
So we, all 3 of us, get back to the hotel, and I had already checked out that morning at 5:30, and we loaded the car, and she's like, I'm going to go in and get him. And then we'll hit the road. And so we're like, okay, we'll wait in the parking lot. And the poor dude walks out. It's just a skeleton, like two steps, two steps. Like he's dead, walking dead for sure. And
feel his pain. Oh, that's miserable.
So I tell her, I said, hey, you just hop on in our car with Amanda. I'll drive y'all's car with him, and we'll head home. So, because she just ran 13 miles, was dead tired. She doesn't need to drive 2.5 hours home like that. No way. And bless her heart, she's like, That's amazing, but no, because I don't want y'all anywhere near him. At the time, we didn't know if it was flu or food poisoning or anything like that. So she's like, he's already in my hotel room, my house, my family. So I'll bear it. So I'm like, okay. So like, I tell you what, we need to get him home and home fast, right? Because we're getting like trash bags from the hotel, like in the car, to make sure that he's can, And so like, all
Contain
right,
everything.
we need to get home. Everyone has gas to follow us. We'll run 100 down the highway. So if any cops are running radar or anything, we're the lead car. We're getting popped.
We'll be on point.
We'll take the ticket, and y'all just keep going. Let's get home fast. So like, okay,
this is a true friend right there.
So we're scooting. We're just absolutely scooting down the highway. 25-ish minutes in, get a call. We need next stop. We need more trash bags. We need some Pedialyte, and I need like an extra big Red Bull. And I'm like, oh, this poor family behind us right now. That's got to be the most miserable situation. So we pull over, Pedialyte, trash bags, Red Bull, back on the freeway. We're ripping. We're doing between 95 and 100 the whole way, just scooting. Never saw any cops. It's about a 2-hour-ish drive. We got home in like an hour
35
and 30 minutes. Yeah. Ripped right in the driveway. And then and the poor guy, he nearly had to crawl into the house. So we got home early-ish afternoon, and I pulled out the smoker, and I sent them a text and just said, hey, I told
hungry?
her, hey, I was not to him. I actually felt bad putting in the text, but I said, hey, I know you're dog tired and you've got kids to feed and all that. So I'm going to have burgers and hot dogs and everything in the driveway on the smoker. I'm sure you don't want your house to smell like food, because he will just start everywhere with that smell, no matter what it is. So she came over and hung out in the driveway for an hour and a half, and we had hot dogs and burgers, and the kids came over and ate and all that. And we grabbed some chicken noodle soup for him. And oh, the poor guy, we felt so terrible. I mean, all he wants to do is go support his wife in her run and be there and be part of it. And he drove down, ate dinner, went to the hotel, and didn't leave it until like noon the next day, and died in the back seat of his car on the way, 2-hour drive home. It was just, I felt so bad for him, but it was like, you can't make that whole weekend up of me running, not running, bad registration. But
it should have ended with a ticket. I'm surprised you got away without that. That's pretty good.
And in my defense, I know they messed up my registration, not me, because when she finished her run, they were like, oh, no, you don't get a medal. We don't have you signed up for this run. She had the bib with the electronic chip with her name and number and everything on, just completes it. And they're like, we don't have you in our system at all. She's like, do you think I just made this bib and somehow commandeered an electronic tracking device? Like, what? And they're like, well, do you have an ID? And she's literally like bent over at the knees. She just crossed the finish line. She's like, no, I didn't carry my ID.
I didn't carry my wallet or purse with me on the race. We try to pack light for these things.
Yeah. So she had to tell him, like, you guys are kidding me, right? Like, I mean, I'll get stuff over. And so they finally just gave her one. But I'm like, how? So that confirmed to me, because I felt so stupid, like I did something wrong. I went, no, okay, they messed up mine too. So the plan is,
they're like, we've got a Thomas registered, but no, you're not here.
That would have been grand. But the plan is April in Oklahoma City. There's one she's done before, and it's much more viewer friendly as far as getting around and navigating, get to mile markers to see the participants. So I'm going to keep doing my training and keep running. So I'm going to run that one with her, and then hopefully no one gets sick, so that way we can accomplish what we were trying to do.
That's crazy. I'm still dealing with the husband. The ironic part is probably 2 days later, he's like a new man. He's like, all better. That's just gone. Those things hit hard, and then they usually clean up pretty quick.
Oh, 1,000,000%. So the next morning I text back in the group and I said, hey, where are you at? And he's like, oh, about 80% now. I'm up to 80%. And I was like, and somehow that's about 200% better than yesterday. And then they were like, Yeah, facts for sure. So
You're gonna have to redo the smoked burgers now that he can take full advantage of that.
yeah,
Invite him back over and see what he missed out. Well, Roy says the burgers were fantastic. I've got things that I think are not fantastic here. I wanted to show you as well. Other things that were sent in my box for me. You know, Slim Jim makes a Vlasic version. It's a Slim Jim pickle flavor.
I had no idea.
It's identical. It's identical to the regular Slim Jim in size. It's just like packed lightly in pickle juice. And
There's already so much grease in those things.
It's actually good. No, it's like instead of the grease, it's pickle juice. It's actually good.
And probably better for you.
It came in a box like this. I thought it had 4 servings size.
How many did you eat?
It has 26 sticks. I have 5 left. I didn't have any yesterday, and I got it the day before. So
you have a big family. That makes sense.
Yeah, I ate one for each of them, or 2, or 3. They're actually pretty good. So those are on the win category. Also in the package was some McCormick dill pickle seasoning, which is just going to go straight in the spice drawer, and I'm going to use that regularly.
So this is stuff that came to the PO.
Yeah, this box of things that I don't want to eat.
We've seen this one
time
before.
to receive this.
Yeah, the cotton candy one.
Cotton candy. Kids, this is all yours. There's somebody over there. Catch. Yep, help yourself. Have at it. And then 2 other things. We got this pickle candy, which is just a green box. I don't know. It sounds like a hard candy. I'm going to hold off on this one. I'm not going to open that.
Why?
And then I had the push pop, the pickle push pop.
I think you should try it now.
Well, I have this very light box, which says on it, if I hold it far enough, I can read the fine print. It says Arctic Farms freeze-dried kosher dill pickle, large bag in here. I think they're kosher dill pickle chips, like actual pickle. So I was going to open that.
Okay, I'm actually curious about that one. Yeah,
I've never heard you can. I mean, there are lots of things you can dry, like freeze dry. These boxes.
I know candy's a big one. Like they swear by like the freeze dried Skittles and stuff, but they sell them for like $12 a bag, or it's wild.
Yeah, my sister has one of those freeze she's in chat occasionally. She has one of those freeze dryers, and it's amazing what you can do. It's really cool. Okay, it was a bag inside a box. It's Arctic brand.
Because they can crumble.
Freeze dries garden dill pickle, and they weigh nothing. Look at this. They're just like sliced pickles in here, but no moisture. It's in a Ziploc, so that's resealable. Gonna do the sniff test. You have to smell the nitrogen right when you open it. Ugh! Whoa! It's like dill weed, strong dill weed.
Oh, okay.
Like in my nose now, the weed itself. It is just a straight out of the pickle jar and into the dehydrator. I think is what happened. Very dry.
I bet it's good. I'm calling good.
Very dry.
Sounds like a Pringle. I bet you like them. Doesn't like them? No.
Way too much salt. Like,
oh, interesting.
The sodium is off the chart on this one as well.
Lynn Taylor, astronaut.
Sodium, 210 milligrams, 9%. So I had 20% on the pickle pop, 9% my sodium in these. Oh, that's bad. Now it's like the consistency of like the skin of a lima bean.
Oh,
but it's hanging around
because you rehydrated it.
Mm-hmm. Not good. The pickle flavor is gone, and it's just like salt. Is all I can. I'm gonna need some more of these chips. That is not good at all. Maybe if you like put them in a jar and rehydrate, are you supposed to water them before you eat them? Let's see. It says chill out and enjoy your favorite treats, freeze dried. There's no instructions. You're just supposed to open them.
Well, yeah, there's no instructions on your Slim Jim. You just open and eat. There's no.
But this could be like a just add water thing, right?
No.
You open it, throw like a half cup of water in, shake it for 10 minutes, and you've got like a bag of dill pickles.
No, they're not MREs. They're supposed to be eaten that way.
I like the idea because I'm all about, lightweight, especially when I was big into camping, being able to just go somewhere and fit everything you need in your bag and all your food that you're going to need for a week and just packing it with you, just have water.
Yeah. Weight saving is king.
Yeah, I'd have the water filter, so I wouldn't even bring my own water. I just filter the water from the stream, and I had some pretty high end water filters. They have the 2 bags and the gravity, and they fills up the clean bag, dirty bag, everything. And you can do it. It'll filter out all the bad stuff, and it's some of the best water you've ever had. So I'm used to eating that, so I like the lightweight. But for flavor wise, it weighs about the same as a bag of chips.
So
I'm just going to go with the Lay's.
Have you ever made potato chip chicken?
Mm-mm.
So that very bag of dill Lay's you got there.
Not this bag. I'm almost done with this one.
Yeah, you got to get a new one.
They need another one.
Definitely get a new one. But it's a great alternative for those that love fried chicken. But you get the whatever potato chips you absolutely love. Slightly open them so air can get out, and then just crunch them all up. Leave them in the bag and just crush them. Basically, you're making potato chip panko. And then you chop up some chicken breast or whatever your favorite part of chicken. Throw them in that bag. Shake it all up as much as you can because it coats that chicken, and then you put it on a baking sheet and you bake it. It's like fried chicken, but it's baked, and the panko's your favorite.
Instead of breadcrumbs, it's just chicken, or it's just
chips. But you could do it with the dill Lay's. That might be a nice chicken. Might taste good.
I don't know many foods I'd want that much salt on. That's a lot. That's a lot of sodium. I'm used to with like Fritos. You can take Fritos and crush those up, or Doritos or something. You crush those up and open the bag, and then just like you shovel in some ground beef and some I don't know, guacamole, salsa, cheese, and stir it up and have a walking taco is what we call that.
Yeah,
you're going camping. You make all the fixins, and then you just eat it out the bag, and then small. It just saves it so you don't have a plate. But it's basically a nacho supreme in a bag.
Yeah, there's a food truck that he's I can't say gone viral, but his shorts are popping up all over my YouTube feed. That's what he does. He's got all the fixings you want. You just bring whatever bag of whatever you want, and you hand him the bag, and you tell him what all you want in it, and he opens it up, puts all his specialty ingredients in it, shake, and gives it right back to you. That's his whole niche. Pretty smart.
So you bring the food, and then you pay him to eat your food again?
You bring the bag of chips, but he's got the chicken, the beef, the pork, the whatever.
Dude, that's a really good business model.
Right. Yeah.
As far as cost and profit goes.
Yeah.
You need one of those.
Totally. But I thought that was pretty smart. Yeah. I like food trucks. I would think about doing it, but we've gone the full hour of story time, which has actually been a blast. And someone in there said something about the dad joke, but instead of a dad joke, because I don't really have one today, I did one I think that are better. Do you know why elevator jokes are so much better than dad jokes?
Why?
They work on so many levels.
You want some pickle chips? That was bad. That was bad.
That's when you know it's a dad joke.
So, once the podcast ends, your night's not over. All right. I wish you luck. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm wishing you luck. I'm not sure if we should stall and save you from whatever may come, or we could pull an all out. Well, this could be our 24-hour stream. We could do it right here. Let's start right now. Let's go for another 23 hours.
It's safer.
Yeah.
That would be. I do have a couch in my office right there. I have a mini fridge, a microwave, a TV on the wall above, I have a bathroom in my office.
Home sweet home.
But I'll be just as scared to go downstairs in the morning as I am right now. It's what's the term? Face the music.
Yeah, or the parrot in this case.
Mango the parrot. Big shout out for ending my marriage. But
forward to seeing a picture of the parrot. Is that coming?
You know what? So yeah, some people have. My wife goes, "Looks like you have a new co-host with the podcast when you have your parrot on your shoulders." So I've been getting, I've been getting a dig.
You got to practice your R.
As much as I tease, she's great. She's joking. She loves the bird. She's been all playing with, looking at them, helping out. She loves it. I'm not in any trouble. She's a great wife. She accepts all my flaws and faults, and it's going to be fun. It definitely wasn't expected. She would have appreciated a heads up for me on this one. But no, all is good and well. So I will, one day he will be on the show, probably perched up maybe right here for a little bit. But for those of you on the RA Facebook page, I will get some pictures once he's found a comfy spot in his brand new cage, and I'll post them up. If that's tonight, I'll do it. If not, it'll be in the order in the morning. But
what do you get for a parrot? Like, what are the accessories, or what are the extras? You get a mirror? Do they like mirrors?
She said she does not like mirrors for birds.
Okay.
Perches are a big thing. Plenty of places to perch up. Non-nesting toys, so fibrous things, because that creates a whole issue. You don't know if it's male or female unless you have it blood tested. So we don't know. Females can start doing nesting behavior. They can actually lay eggs without a male partner. And once that happens,
then you just have little omelets.
Well, that, and with certain birds, once it happens, that becomes the end of their life, like the bees that sting type scenario, and health issues, calcium levels drop, and then you're going to the vet, and it's a nightmare. So we got the whole rundown, as well as half the store in a cart.
I'm glad you're keeping your local pet shop in business. Looks like you rescued another wonderful animal that you're going to love, even though it started out a little rocky. So I wish you luck. Call me if there's any problem. Call me if you need like a mediator to talk between you and Amanda and get everything worked out.
Matthew Harris Law specializes in family law, and he's Texas licensed, board certified. 5 dogs, 2 cats, and a parrot. Thank you all so much for joining me on this wonderful Thursday.
That's awesome. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.